So you've come to learn the perfect grip for you to control the club face better. Also, maybe why Mr. Hogan got this wrong. In today's video, I'm going to cover what Mr. Hogan was talking about, how he holds the club for him, and how you may not want to hold the club like that, because Mr. Hogan was a notorious hooker of the golf ball. So everything from his grip to his wrist structure was trying to get him to not get the golf ball going left. But for most amateur golfers, and maybe you struggle with closing the club face. Maybe you struggle with wrist structure in your swing. Well, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to properly hold the club so you can hit better golf shots. So Mr. Hogan, in his book, he covered the grip for golfers. The only issue is he covers his grip. And Mr. Hogan had a lot of things in his golf swing that created a hook pattern. He had a flatter arm structure at the top. He had lateral motion, and he brought his arms down dramatically. If you combine all those three things and your face is in a pretty closed position, you're going to hit hooks. That's what he struggled with. So what he did is he changed his grip in order for him to almost push the ball out to the right. And then later in his career, he actually started aiming left. But for you, if you're someone that's struggling with the ball going out to the right all the time because your face is too open, you do not want Ben Hogan's grip. Ben Hogan talked about holding the club like this, where the grip sat into the heel pad. The only issue with this grip is now the club hits into the heel pad. And for a lot of golfers, that is going to stop you from being able to get this lead wrist into a flatter position, let alone be able to turn this club down. You can see how awkward this is. Where you want to hold onto that club is super important. We want to hold the club through the fingers. So when you put this club into your lead hand, these three fingers are going to go across the grip. Now, if I open this up again, the fingers wrap around it. The pressure should really be in these two fingers here, and then the heel pad should go on top of that club. That is where the grip should be sitting into the hand. Now, I don't really care if you have a stronger grip or a weaker grip, but the club should still be running down through the fingers, and then the heel pad sits on top of that. That is going to enable you to be able to control that lead wrist a gazillion times better and be able to release that club. This is so much easier to control the club face than if I put that club down through like how Mr. Hogan wants it, and then try and close that club face. You can see how I got to manipulate my shoulder, and then for me to try and turn that wrist down, the club sits into that. I can easily flex that wrist down as much as I want. We don't have to go Colin Morikawa, Dustin Johnson, John Rahm, but now you have the ability for a lot of golfers that get up to the top of your backswing, and you can't get that lead wrist into a flatter position because that club is sitting through here, club face open, ball out to the right. Holding onto that club properly is going to be super important. So I want you to get comfortable with that pattern. Again, we're getting that club through the fingers, almost straight up and down. It is at a slight little angle, and then from here, the heel pad goes on top. Now I can control that club face any which way I want. Look how easy that is for me to do that. Versus if it's down like Mr. Hogan, gosh, that's super awkward. You do not want that grip. An easy way for you to see how to get into that good setup is, I don't know if you've ever seen Adam Scott. He will constantly put his club down in front of him just like this, and then drag it back and then walk into the shot. Guess what he's doing when he does that? If he puts that club down in front of him, once it's down on the ground and he drags it back to his toe, it is going to be putting that club bang in that spot. And that is where you want to hold on to the club. Not like this. This is going to inhibit you from being able to get that wrist again into a bit of a flatter spot that most golfers need, and then be able to turn that face down and release that club. Again, Mr. Hogan hit big hooks. He was trying to find ways that he could limit how much his face is closing. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're someone that has an overactive release, maybe you are someone that's turning the ball to the left. Heck, that grip might be great for you. But I would say majority of golfers, probably into like the 90 percentile, need this grip over his. So that is what he needed in his swing, not what you need in your swing. You need this grip. Now, how do you practice this? Well, it's going to feel awkward and new at the beginning. Do it at home. Bring your club into your house, have it sitting beside your couch. When you're watching the TV, just get up, put that club down, draw it back, then put your trail hand on. Great. Then just repeat it over and over and over again. It's going to get more and more comfortable. Now, talking about the trail hand, what does the trail hand do? Your trail hand is in a support role, and I don't really care if you're going to go overlap, interlock, or baseball, but what we want is the trail hands a little bit like the Spider-Man shooting web. That's a really good spot for a lot of people. Then we've got their interlock, we've got the overlap, and then we've got the baseball. The hands, though, should be tight together. They should be working in unison. I like that. How strong or weak your grip is, that really depends on the golfer. Some people need a little bit of a weaker grip. Some people need a stronger grip. Just because I have a bit of a stronger grip on my lead hand, guess where I'm still holding onto that club? You got it. In the proper spot, down through the fingers, and then the heel pad goes on top of it. That is going to be the best way for you to control the club face. Not only that, but you're actually going to be able to hinge the club more and have better speed, because now you're going to have the proper lag coming down and you can release it through that golf ball. Get comfortable on the range. Put a ball on a small little tee. Get your hands into that spot. Feel free to do the Scotty Scheffler. What do you think he's doing constantly on the range? He's making sure his grip's in a great spot, and then he puts that club down. Now it's where he wants it to be, and then he's going to hit a shot. Again, all we're looking for is getting comfortable making that motion over and over and over again. So how do you practice it? Well, you can do it at home. Then we got to bring it out to the driving range. A little bit more pressure there. I want you to put it all on a small little tee. If you're still getting comfortable with that grip, again, you can do the Adam Scott, drag it back to your toe, or you can do the Scotty Scheffler. What do you think that he's doing? He's making sure that his hands are on the club properly, down through here, the heel pad's on there, and then he gets his hands interlocked. All right, from there, he's now ready to hit that shot. Gets up to the top, swinging down and through. He's constantly working on his grip, making sure that it is in a great spot all the time. Where you hold the club is so important. Get the fundamentals right so you can control the club face and play better golf. And as always, please like this. And if you do, please subscribe to the channel so I can keep giving you great content so you can play better golf.